It's always funny to me how when the left tries to tell the right about something, they wave it off and call it fake news. But the moment they finally discover it from themselves, they act like it's the first time anyone ever mentioned it. The right just found out that JD Vance is fake and that his wife can't stand him too. Well, guess what, y'all? We told you so. Now, before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those post notifications because it helps us bring you more videos like this. This is Kameron Williams, and welcome to Pragmotiv News. Watch this.
I think the little Manchurian candidate, JD Vance, wants to be president more than anything else.
Yeah.
I always wonder what's going on in the mind of his wife. Like, are
Agreed.
you okay? Please blink 4 times.
Yes.
We'll come over here. We'll save you. And that he's willing to do anything to get there. And that your whole iteration you just outlined, I mean, he's scarier in certain ways.
He's smarter.
In some ways. And he's young.
Yeah. And ambitious.
And agile in the sense that he is a chameleon who makes himself into whatever he thinks the audience wants to hear from him. Now, what's also true, though, is JD
Vance really is the scarier one because he's competent. Trump isn't. The only safety net, though, we have is that Vance is still too mediocre to win a general election. He's too mediocre, he's too bland, and he's just overall just a weird individual. I mean, the whole couch situation. That make me not vote for you if I knew you was doing strange things to some couches. Allegedly. Honestly, we could probably run a ham sandwich in 2028 and still win. But that being said, we can't afford to get cocky, though. I just want to say that. We can't afford to be cocky. We must treat every poll, every future poll, as if we're 50 points down. But personally, I'm not losing any sleep over little smoky eye JD when it comes to the 2028 election. What sent MAGA into a frenzy was Jen Psaki's comments on JD Vance and Usha Vance, saying she needs to blink 4 times if she needs help. They mad, but I don't see a problem with what she said because let's be real. Neither Trump or Vance's wife actually likes them. Melania don't like Trump. Usha don't like JD. I mean, it's clear as day. We can see it. There were rumors. I just remembered there's rumors of Usha and JD fighting at a restaurant. So that says it all. So Jen's words alone sent the MAGA crowd into a meltdown. And watching them spiral over the smallest things is honestly hilarious to me. So let's see what some of the maggots said, starting with Stephen Chung, White House Communications Director. He said, Jen, you misspelled her last name, bro, must be transferring her own personal issues onto others. Jen Psaki is a dumbass who has no comprehension of the truth and has to overcompensate for her lack of talent by saying untrue things. Circle back on that moron. Y'all know she right, so now you coming for her with personal attacks. Mr. Humpty Dumpty head ass. I'm so sick of them. The only dumbass here, bro, is you. Because we all can see that ain't no happy marriage. There were literal reports, I repeat, literal reports of a whole fight between them. So get the fuck out of here with that. So next is Carrie Lake, room temperature IQ having ass. She just had to open up her mouth about it. So She said Jen Psaki's attack on Ucha and JD Vance's marriage was despicable, but it shows the desperate situation the Democrats are in. They realize there is no bringing Trump down, so they're starting to focus on what comes next. And JD is a sharp guy with a beautiful family and an incredible story. Well, the left is very scared of him. They're right to be, because all they have on the bench for 2028 are clowns like Gavin Newsom. Oh, please. This is yet another example of the right's hypocrisy. It's all fine, well, and good for the right to constantly attack Michelle Obama, questioning her gender. Like, seriously, y'all called this lady a man. And instead of calling her by her name, you called her Mike. Y'all photoshopped Barack and Michelle Obama into apes. And there's a whole lot more that y'all have done that I don't have time to address here. Just like with every fucking thing else. With the political violence. There's more political violence than I have time to address on these videos. This is the shit y'all do. But God forbid a Democrat make comments on JD Vance and his wife when we can clearly see that their marriage ain't happy. Just like we can see that Trump and Melania aren't happy. They're not happily married. Because if they was, she'd live at the White House. You know, Carrie, it's funny you mentioned Vance's story. Because didn't your buddy Nick Fuentes have this to say about Vice President Vice President Vance? You got it.
You go through his life story and you realize that everything about him is fake. His time in the military, fake. They say he's a Marine. Look up his role in the Marines. He was a correspondent, a combat correspondent, which means he wrote press releases for the military. So he's a fake Marine. He goes to Yale Law School. He meets Peter Thiel. He meets other people. His first job in tech, it's a biotech firm. The CEO says he only hired Vance as a favor to Peter Thiel. That was his first job. He graduates from law school and then works for a biotech firm. How does a law school graduate go to work for a biotech firm? Well, the guy that hired him tells us he hired him as a favor to Thiel. Then Vance works at a series of venture capital firms. First, he works for Thiel for about 7 months while he drops his book. Then he works for the founder of AOL at a company called Revolution. Then he starts his own venture capital firm with money from Peter Thiel. 3 firms in 5 years. When he was at Peter Thiel's firm, his colleagues say they never saw him in the office. When he was at Revolution, his boss, the founder of AOL, this guy Case, says Vance didn't do much. Inexplicably, he raises over $120 million at his firm, mostly from Peter Thiel, Mark Andreessen, and others. So he's a fake venture capitalist. Then, even though he opposed Trump from the very beginning, Peter Thiel organizes a meeting with Vance and Trump in 2021 to smooth things over. And then in 2021, Vance declares his candidacy for Senate of Ohio. Peter Thiel makes the biggest contribution of any individual donor in a Senate race in American history of $15 million. Thiel, with his connections, secures Trump's endorsement, and Vance becomes a senator. So he's a fake Marine, he's a fake venture capitalist, and then he's a fake MAGA senator. Now he's the vice president of the United States. Even his name is fake. He didn't go by Vance until he was 30 years old. Vance was the name of his Meemaw, and he changed his name to Vance just a few years before he published his book, which had been in the works for as much time, about his Mima, his story that gives him the credibility. For 30 years, he was JD Hamill and went by other names.
Like I said in the beginning of the video, I find it so hilarious how he is just finding this stuff out. We told y'all that he was just a correspondent. We told y'all he changed his name. We told y'all he was in bed with Peter Thiel. So don't act surprised now, Nick. So y'all, it's always just hilarious. I'm going to keep saying that. Because these people are just some funny ass people. How they just contort themselves into this pretzel just to appease Trump and deny any kind of form of reality. And the left tries to point this stuff out and they wave it off and scream fake news. That's their go-to things. Fake news, it's fake news. But the second they find out for themselves, they act like it's breaking news. Oh, I can't believe this. Like they just uncovered this deep secret. The right is suddenly shocked that JD Vance is fake and that his wife can't stand him and might divorce him. We don't know. Well, again, we told y'all so. Welcome back to reality. They never listen until it's too late, and then they get mad when we laugh about it. But let's be real, everything we've been saying about Vance has been sitting in plain sight. From his shady rebranding to his fake working class hero act and his only being a correspondent in the Marines. It's all been obvious. Why haven't y'all seen it? Now even the far right crowd is catching on, and the meltdown is chef's kiss. Hilarious to watch. So as we wrap up, just remember this. The hypocrisy is always there with these mega nuts. The same people who called Michelle Obama a man and photoshopped her into racist memes are suddenly clutching their pearls over Jen Psaki's words. Give me a break. What she said wasn't even that bad. So that's all for now. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow at Pragmotiv News everywhere to stay pragmotivated. Also, remember, you can find us anywhere across major platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and iHeartRadio so that you can listen to us even when you're on the go. So head on over there now and follow us and leave a review. It really helps us out. Till next time. Peace.